Hello and welcome to the 2013 Water Campfire. We ask that out of respect for the leaders that everyone remains silent, and after their speeches that we hold our applause.
Many thanks to all the friends and family who made the trips to be here tonight. This group really was a special one. We've been around camp for a long time, and it really showed this year.
Without further ado, we present to you the 2013 Water Campfire.
What makes a great leader? Is it someone who clinches first place for 2 sessions, stealing the lead from fellow leader CJ by a mere 275 points? Are they someone who wins the summer's biggest event after building one of the most impressive sandcastles I've ever seen? No. As great as all these accomplishments are, being a great leader is about so much more. A leader is someone who not only leads those around them through their actions, but someone who listens to, learns from, and understands those around them. Jack is the type of leader who does all of these things without a second thought. It's never about just him with his team. I don't see them as Jack's team. They are the Apache. As a leader, Jack has never failed to put the needs of everyone at camp before his own. Everything he does is for the benefit of others. Jack is the most selfless person I've ever met. At times, I fear that due to his selflessness, he forgets to take care of himself. People buy into the leader before they buy into the vision. John C. Maxwell's words could not have been truer about Jack this summer. Campers are not drawn to what team might win this summer. They are drawn to the leader. They are drawn to Jack. Campers of all ages gravitate towards him. I spoke to George Landsberg the other day, and he said the following: I really admire Jack's leadership with the juniors. He's super patient, and they love him. For a 16-year-old, Jack's patience is extraordinary. I rarely find him upset, and it takes a lot to make him mad. Believe me, I've tried. Jack is one of the hardest workers I know. Nothing he does is done at less than 100%. Even the smallest task, such as taking our spike bucks to the rave, is the most important thing to Jack in the moment. It's the quality that so many wish they had. I hope he never loses it. No two leaders are alike. Jack has figured this out, and has never once tried to be someone else. Jack Landsberg is not Jack Minion. Jack stayed true to who he was as a person, and led his team with his heart. This is Jack's summer, and he has made every second count. I firmly believe that anyone can be a friend, but it takes someone very special to be a brother. He's always there if I need him, or if anyone needs him, or if I want to vent about the stresses of my life. I know he isn't afraid to reach out with a question or a problem he wants to talk through. A good relationship is one where you cannot say a word to the other person for weeks or even months. And when you talk or see them again, it's as if no time had passed at all. Such is the relationship I have with Jack. He treats others with fairness and the respect we all deserve as people. No one is less than their best to Jack, and I admire this immensely. I'm in awe of Jack's ability to find the absolute best in someone and help them further grow as a person. Jack has made me the man I am today by simply being himself. I've never had a younger brother to make fun of, beat up, talk to about stuff you'd rather not tell your parents. and give advice to. I now have Jack, and I would give my life for him. By being part of the Deerhorn family, I have gotten to know Jack and developed a bond of trust and respect, the bond of brotherhood. I mentioned to George again that Jack has told me numerous times how much he loves him. George means the world to Jack. George responded simply with, "I love him more. He's my hero." Well, George, your big bro is my hero too. Jack is a gentleman above anything else. Just ask anyone who knows him and they'll all agree. The Deerhorn Creed calls for a gentleman from all of us. Jack lives and breathes the Deerhorn Creed. He defines a Deerhorn leader. Walter Lippmann wrote that the final test of a leader that he leaves behind him in other men the conviction and the will to carry on. Jack will leave a great stamp on the leader program at Camp Deerhorn. When I move on, Jack will forever help define Deerhorn to me. He's given so much to camp by being Jack. The Apache have been well taken care of, and, without a doubt, every member of the Apache team will find it in themselves to carry on with their Deerhorn careers. Jack has been an unparalleled leader this summer. To close, I want to quote the young man who gets Jack better than anybody else and understands how remarkably special he is, George Lansbury. With words that I could not have phrased more perfectly or agreed with more, George wrote, "Jack is a great leader, but an even better person." Camp Deerhorn, I present to you the incomparable 2013 Apache leader, George Lansbury. Jack Lansbury.
There are a lot of things that inspire me. One of them is a brand of t-shirts called Life is Good, which was started by two guys who were all about loving life and inspiring others to feel the same way. The t-shirts are all simple, with clear and thoughtful messages. Through the years, there's one quote from these Life is Good brand t-shirts that resonated with me, especially at Deerhorn. The pursuit is the reward. The pursuit is the reward. For me, it means that there is more significance, happiness, and meaning for those who live in the moment, rather than working towards one final peak. While it was amazing to be chosen to be a leader, the honor of being selected was a secondary reward to being able to spend 6 magical summers at Deerhorn with my best friends in the whole world. Being a leader at Deerhorn has been a journey, one as breathtaking and one of a kind as climbing Mount Everest. World-class climbers clamber up crazy tall mountains in extreme conditions, but there is no mountain in the world taller than Everest, and nothing can fully prepare anyone for the tallest pinnacle in the world. And, just like a mountain climber, I ventured through all Deerhorn has to offer, but nothing could prepare me for, nor compared to being a leader this summer. It's as action-packed as ice picking up a glacier, and as rugged as rock climbing over boulders, and I'm so grateful that I got to share this journey with the best people I know. Counselors like Johnny and Nick, Luke, Brian McFadden, Timmy, Sherman, Brooksy, the Armenians, Mac, Remy, Taylor and Kiana, Brian and Crawford, have been our fearless guides who make me smile and laugh every time I see them. They are the best mentors in the world, and I'm so happy and proud that I could share my journey with them, as well as the entire staff. Deerhorn is made up of passionate and creative people, and without them the experience would be far less special. To the entire Deerhorn staff, my message is this. Thank you for being a constant source of inspiration and reminding me to be who I am and to always enjoy the journey for its own sake. You all always spread sunshine and good cheer and taught me to be strong because self-reliance is born of strength. It is an incredible thing to be able to trust myself, even in the face of adversity, and I feel like there is no challenge, nor obstacle, nor giant looming mountain that I cannot overcome. Thank you. As well as all the counselors that I've been able to spend the summer with, are the ACs and campers that I've been with at camp for several years now. To the year of dominance, you guys are so much fun, and it doesn't matter if you guys are in the kitchen, at activities, or just hanging around camp. Fun always follows you. To last year's leaders, thank you for coming back and making being a leader easier and more exciting at every turn. You taught me so much last year, and I'm so happy to have been able to share this year with you. To the Voyagers of 2012 and everyone else in our year, you are my best friends in the world, and our journey together on Voyager was amazing, and there are so many more adventures for us in the future. There are no others in the world who are as courageous and compassionate and comical as you all. Voyager was only the first mountain we conquered, and I hope we can enjoy the Deerhorn journey together for years to come. To my Apache brothers from past and present, you have no idea how meaningful your presence has been. Whether it was before the summer, during the monkeys, or in the Apache book, I feel honored to share the glory of the big green machine with you all. To my campers this year, my goal was to turn you into leaders in your own way. And not only did you rise to the challenge, you blew me away with your maturity, humor, and passion. Thank you for standing by me through thick and thin and making this summer more colorful than a sunset over Fourth Lake. To my Voyagers, I am so proud of all you accomplished this year and the mark you left at camp. I'm honored to have had you on my team. My Deerhorn friends are my best friends in the world, and it's because of these friends that Deerhorn is so special. While this year has been the most incredible climb of my life, at some point we all have to reach the top. This water campfire marks the end of my time as an Apache, as a leader, and a camper. And even though we've reached the end, I see so much ahead. I see new peaks to climb, new memories to make, fresh perspectives to observe, and new people to meet. As the eloquent Sadie Grace said at the end of last year, nothing is ever over. It just changes. The magic of Deerhorn will never cease, but it will change. That is why I urge all of you, campers, to keep coming back. Keep embracing the journey and living for not a final outcome. Keep exploring and be bold and brave. There will always be another mountain to climb. Before I'm done, I want to say a couple thank yous to the Broadbridges. Thank you so much for making Deerhorn the most sacred place in the world, and for inviting me to be a part of Deerhorn history. This is the best summer of my life, and it's due in large part to you. To my family, I love you so much, and thank you for letting me go to camp and be a leader. I'm so lucky to have this experience, and I'm excited to see how much the whole Landsberg family has endorsed and embraced Deerhorn. Lastly, most importantly, to Bez, Alex, and CJ. You guys are my best friends in the world. We've done so much together, it amazes me. You guys make me laugh, make me cry, teach me new things, and reminisce about old times. There aren't 3 other people in the world that I'd rather be a leader with. We are the Iron Kuji because not only can we withstand everything, but I feel that our bond is as strong as iron. I'd do anything for you guys, and I know you do the same. You are my brothers. I love you. It's been an honor being a leader, and as hard as it is to admit that it's over, it is. What an incredible 9-week journey. I will remember this summer forever, and this is not the end. I'm leaving a different person than the Jack Landsberg that arrived in June. I've learned to be a better leader, mentor, listener, and friend, and I'm eager to see where my Deerhorn learning will take me. Eager to see which mountains are left to climb, and which adventures are still left to be ahead.
So swift, the rain won't lift, the gate won't close, 'cause the railings froze. Get your mind off winter time, you ain't going nowhere. Ooh-wee, ride me high, tomorrow's the day that my bride's gonna come. Ooh-wee, we gonna slide down into that easy chair. I don't care how many letters they send, morning came and the morning went. Pick up your honey and pack up your tent. You ain't going nowhere. Ooh-wee, ride me high, 'cause the day my bride's gonna come. Ooh-wee, we gonna slide down into that easy chair. And a gun that shoots, tailgates and substitutes. Tie yourself to the tree with roots, you ain't going nowhere. Ooh-wee, ride me high, tomorrow's the day my bride's gonna come. Ooh-wee, we gonna slide down into that easy chair. Now King Khan, he could not keep all his lords supplied with sleep. Down in that mountain so snowy and steep, we rode to it. Ooh-wee, ride me high, tomorrow's the day my bride's gonna come. Ooh-wee, we gonna slide down into that easy chair.
When I was 2, Andrew was born, and I was not pleased. He was stealing the spotlight from me. There's a great picture of Andrew and me right after he was born. I'm holding him in my arms, and he looks adorable, all tiny and swallowed up. And I have the biggest frown on my face. When we were kids, we fought a lot. That's what you would expect from brothers. Whenever we would play games, I would always win. It got to the point where he wouldn't even play me anymore. But he's grown up now, literally. He's got 15 pounds on me and I'm scared to wrestle him. And he gives me a run for my money at ping pong. Andrew's grown in other ways too. Everyone is drawn to him. He's one of the funniest people I know, and he's the best at cheering people up and putting smiles on their faces. He's extremely sociable and friendly with everyone, even when he hates their guts. Andrew developed all the traits to be a good leader. Go figure. A couple years ago, when we grew up, we grew much closer. And we really started connecting. We can have whole conversations saying 6 words, or using only movie and TV quotes. The relationship we built over the years is something special. It's going to last forever, which is awesome, because it couldn't be with someone better. I'm realizing now that all these awesome things that he's doing aren't occasional, but happen all the time. I know you're going to succeed. People like you do. I'm so proud of you, Andrew. More than you know.
It's a rare occasion when you can actually recall the first time you meet a relative. But after a long drive from the Detroit suburbs to a middle of nowhere town that was Ithaca, New York, it was finally time to meet Simon's little brother, Andrew. As an 11 or 12-year-old kid, I was pretty excited to finally meet my little cousin that I had heard so much about. Since that night, our relationship has turned into something I never could have imagined as a 12-year-old boy stepping into the Bezerganians' house for the very first time. After reflecting on years of family trips to Higgins Lake and roller coaster rides at Cedar Point, it's so hard to believe that Andrew has become the young man he is today. Over the last decade, I've watched Andrew go from my chubby-cheeked little cousin who would take a few too many of his Aunt Mary Rose's chocolate chip cookies to this mellow, mature, 16-year-old leader who somehow managed to cross the finish line first inside his yellow chariot a few Sundays ago. Being able to be by the leader's foresight day in and day out has made this summer become something that I will never, ever forget. Bez, I am more proud of you than you will ever understand, as a counselor, friend, and as a cousin. As you enter the next phase of your Deerhorn career, remember to never stop learning about all the many things that camp can teach you so much about. I really hope I can come along for the ride.
Andrew, you've had the complete Deerhorn camper experience. From the days when that now faded gray hat was still blue, to leading your team in the monkey relays, an experience the 3 of us will never forget having shared with you. I've watched you approach Deerhorn as an adventure. You've grown up so much in so many ways. You have so many great memories and stories, and so many incredible friendships to maintain from up here. For so many years you were the baby of the family, and God knows we let you know it. But the years of abuse you've endured, I'm convinced, helped create the 2013 Chippewa leader you became. Grant Papastefan, one of your Voyagers and oldest camp friends, describes you well. He knows when to laugh, when to buckle down, when to give and take advice, when to be serious and when to be funny, and how to help others work towards being as balanced as he is. Andrew, you treat everyone like they're special. You're a friend to all, and you give the same time of day to your family, your oldest camp friends, your newest staff member, and your youngest Chippewa teammate. It wasn't by chance that you became that happy, hilarious, hardworking, and humble man you are. As Jack mentioned, strength is born of self-reliance, and Deerhorn gave you the opportunity to push yourself, to do more, to be better, to extend yourself. Camp gave you an audience for your comedian side. It gave you a place to get lost in the woods and find your way home. It gave you a place to learn about and take on responsibility, something I've seen you embrace. It gave our family an opportunity to come together. Andrew, I look at the man you've become, and I'm so proud. We all are. You make people smile, you make people laugh, and you make people feel at home at camp. And you've made this place a home for yourself. You have a great future ahead of you at Deerhorn and in life, Drew. And I can't wait to watch it play out.
Without further ado, it is our pleasure and our honor to introduce the 2012 D-Session Most Outstanding Senior Camper, a certified member of the 2013 Camp Deerhorn Goon Squad, and the 2013 Chippewa leader, my brother, Andrew Bezerganian.
Being a leader here at camp, I've learned to really appreciate how precious every moment at camp can be. Campers all realize now, at the end of this session, how amazing and life-changing Camp Deerhorn is, and how understandable it is why people like DK and Brooksy have been coming back for so many years. Having a lot of family when I first came to camp, I could never consider myself alone. This gave me many opportunities to try new things. Unfortunately, during my first few years at camp, it was really difficult for me to try new things and leave my comfort zone. For me, this would have to be one of my deepest regrets, and I would give anything to have what would have been some of the best memories of my life. Yet in those years, the relationship with my brother Simon, my cousins Nick, Steve, and Brian wouldn't all be what it is today. I love you all so much. I'm so glad that we've had this experience together. Later on, throughout my Deerhorn career, I noticed myself becoming more outgoing and applying myself more often. I made friendships that I'll keep for the rest of my life, and eventually it became harder and harder to leave as I grew more and more attached. Saying goodbye to everyone became one of the hardest things to do, knowing that I would have to wait a whole year until I could see all my friends again. The men standing next to me are without a doubt the best friends that I could ever ask for. And I'm so glad that I've gotten to know you all. And saying goodbye is going to be one of the most difficult things that I'll ever do. I have a quote that will always help me say goodbye. That is, don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. A word of advice to all my campers and voyagers. Embrace every second of every day because you won't believe how fast it goes by. Whether you win or lose, the memories will be made through happiness and laughter. My good friend Johnny Sudicombe frequently uses the phrase carpe diem, meaning seize the day. This mentality should be used by everyone, because life moves pretty fast. If you don't look around once in a while, you might miss it. As I start to end this speech, I would like to thank everyone who has been there for me. I'd first like to thank the Broadbridges for bringing smiles and happiness to everyone, making Deerhorn one of the best places on earth. Second, I'd like to thank my family for giving me the opportunity to spend the last 8 summers of my life here and making me who I am today. And last, I'd like to thank all the ACs, counselors, campers, for being the heart and soul of Camp Deerhorn, and I love you all so much.
been hard, and the city's hard too. He picks up the phone, and halfway across the country, brother listens to his blues. Says, do you remember? We thought we were immortal, and the games we played always had a happy end. In the game of life, all the roses wither, and time it writes its lines upon your face. Lift your voices loud and clearly, sing for brother right now. Lift your voices loud and clearly, sing for sister right now. Sometimes I wish that we all were immortal, and the games we played, they always had a happy end. I know it's not true, that time keeps passing. I'm just glad I can spend my time with you. Lift your voices loud and clearly, sing for brother right now. Lift your voices loud and clearly, sing for sister right now.
Good evening. I'm Taylor Broadbridge. This speech was written by my sister and myself. Unfortunately, Kiana had to leave for college, but she sends all of her love. We are both so honored that Alex has asked us to introduce him for his Water Campfire speech. The Mandels have been a part of Deerhorn as long as we can remember, and we wish for that to stay true for many years to come. Alex and his family's loyalty to Deerhorn is endless. Ever since Kiana and I can remember, Alex has been a part of camp. You were always one of the campers on our list that we were so excited to see every summer. Deerhorn is our home, not because our last names are Broadbridge, but because this is where our family is. Our immediate family and all of our Deerhorn brothers. You are our brother, Alex. We have been lucky enough to watch you grow up, and in return, you have watched Kiana and I grow older. It seems that time has truly passed in the blink of an eye, but the sadness that normally comes with the passing of time isn't there. Our friendship and love for you, Alex, continues to grow, just as we all are. Alex has lived through the creed every day of his life. He enjoys the great outdoors as one of the gifts of life. He understands the opportunity that Deerhorn gives boys to be outside enjoying nature is a gift that should not be taken for granted. He greets the dawn with a smile and the mess call with a laugh. Seeing Alex walking down to the lodge every morning immediately brings a smile to our faces. And we know it's not just us his smile spreads to. Alex has a way to make a day better, even when it has just begun. He strives to spread sunshine and good cheer just for the fun of it. Those that are lucky enough to be around Alex are surrounded by this warmth, this happiness that brings sunshine to someone who needs it. He plays every game on the level, wins modestly, loses gracefully, and has a kind word for the opposing side. This summer has been an absolute blast. Watching Alex strive with his natural leadership abilities, teaching his team to enjoy every game they play, and showing them what it takes to be a good winner and a good loser. He speaks the truth and thinks the truth. Alex never has a single negative thing to say about camp or anyone at camp. His love for this place is clearly seen through the way he talks about it, inside and outside of camp. His love for his Deerhorn family cannot be even explained in words. He cooperates with other campers and finds a pleasure in lending a helping hand, never looking down on anybody for their age. Alex treats every person at camp as if they were his best friend. His ability to make strong bonds with others at camp has always been amazing. He always tries to see the other fellow's side of the question and strives for harmony. As long as Alex and those around him are having fun, competition never seems to matter. Having fun with those he's playing with means more to Alex than actually winning the game. He is kind because manliness requires kindness. Anyone who knows Alex knows about his supporting and wonderful family. It only takes a second of talking to them to understand where Alex has learned about kindness. He is strong because self-reliance is born of strength. One of Alex's strengths is his moral character. He is careful because recklessness is the admission of unwise judgment. Never judging anyone too fast, Alex can instantly make friends with any boy that comes to camp. He makes new friends, he makes new kids feel welcome and a part of Deerhorn family almost immediately. He is too generous to bear a grudge and too good-natured to pick flaws in others. Alex has a way of making whoever he's talking to feel like the most important person in the world. He aims for self-improvement. Alex not only strives to improve himself, but those around him, helping every boy on his team and around him reach his full potential. He is a good fellow, a pal to other campers, a friend in manner and deed, a booster rather than a knocker, an optimist rather than a pessimist, and is definitely a gentleman under all circumstances and conditions. There is no better way to describe Alex than the last line of the creed. Being the most genuine and loving person we all know, Alex will always bleed the creed. You can take Alex out of Deerhorn, but you will never take Deerhorn out of Alex. Our constant objective at Deerhorn is to have boys grow and gain something more permanent than just a fun summer experience. After 9 amazing summers, Alex is leaving here with the prizes of character, courage, self-reliance, self-discipline, the capacity for friendship and consideration. He is leaving with the ideals of manhood that every parent wants for their child. We wanted to end our introduction speech with a quote given at a water campfire not too long ago. I can guarantee that leaving this place is always going to be tough. But if saying goodbye wasn't so hard, then what would be the point of even showing up? Alex, you make this quote true. You're someone at camp that's always hard to say bye to. But at the same time, someone that makes this place worthwhile the next summer. And not just for me and Kiana, but to everyone at Camp Deerhorn. You are a part of what makes Deerhorn so special. And your Deerhorn story is not over, Alex. It is closing one door and opening the next. I am so happy and proud to announce the 2013 Iroquois leader, Alex Mandel.
As I was sitting on the office porch and listening to last year's Water Campfire, on YouTube of course, I started to write my speech. Looking out from the porch that Sunday morning, I saw something beautiful. A calm lake glistening from the reflection of the sun, a clear blue sky holding a soaring bald eagle, but down below, the true beauty of Camp Deerhorn. Campers running around making friends and memories that will last a lifetime. Luke in Landsberg practicing a song for Luke's upcoming Words of Wisdom speech, and that one space camper pacing back and forth on the Z-Dock. This is Camp Deerhorn. Then I started reminiscing. I thought to myself, how did I get here? How did this amazing place become such a major part of my life? The answer was simple: Google. When I was about 5 years old, my dad looked for something to do with me over the summer. So as he always has done, he started to do some research. He looked up something like father and son camp. His search results came up with Deerhorn and some other camp in, I think, Maine. Doing further research into the two camps, he realized that Deerhorn would be the right camp for us. Little did he know that this place that he had found on an internet search engine would drastically change his son's lives for years to come. So that summer, we made the tedious trek up to the north woods of Wisconsin. Deerhorn has provided a true second home for me and every other camper, counselor, and proud parent that has stepped foot in this place. We have all been adopted into this thing that is so much greater than ourselves. At an awards breakfast earlier this summer, Gates Webb read a passage from the book in Old Deerhorn Hall. It read, "Your boy and his growth. This summer, your boy will grow. This is the keynote of our responsibility at Camp Deerhorn. We see a boy's need for growth physically and mentally. We have planned and built for his fun today and for his development tomorrow. This camp is conceived as a bivouac of friendship and fellowship. It is equipped with all those external facilities that make a summer's vacation in the open a thing of joy for a growing boy. But we like to think that Camp Deerhorn carries to your boy something more permanent than suntan, stronger muscles, clear eyes, inches, and pounds. We believe that he will take back with him and possess through the years the prizes of character, courage, self-reliance, self-discipline, the capacity for friendship and consideration. In brief, those ideals of manhood which every parent seeks to realize in his boy. This is our constant objective as we shape the season's program for health and pleasure. Dr. Don C. Broadbridge." To me, that is magical, and Camp Deerhorn is just this. Up here, no matter how old or young, big or small you are, you should always cherish your time, and you shouldn't take a single second for granted. My last 9 years have been greatly influenced by campers and counselors, to name a few: Ted Decker, Dick Kenny, the three brothers sitting next to me right now, Kevin Crawford, Brian Hecht, Bear, Brian McFadden, Brooksy, Taylor, and Kiana Broadbridge, and many others, including past leaders. As a first-year camper, I remember looking up to the 4 team leaders. They were my first role models up at camp. I used to think to myself, I want to be like them when I'm older. After growing physically and mentally throughout the years, with great help from each year's wise leaders, counselors, and Broadbridges, I got a call from Patrick the winter following my Voyager summer. When he asked me if I would like to be a leader for the summer of 2013, my heart dropped. I got a huge lump in my throat and replied with, "And of course." That's when I realized that my dreams had come true. But let's fast forward. Now that my leader summer was coming to an end, and I sat on the office porch, I reflected upon my camper life at Deerhorn. I looked back at the great memories and friends I made at camp. To name one memory that stands out, it was 2 years ago, and I was sitting out on the skeeter late at night with some of my best friends, including Bobby Thomas, Ted Decker, Henry Pollock, CJ Yeager, and my brother Zach. We laid on the skeeter stargazing. That night, I believe we all saw the true beauty of Deerhorn, the family that we created and built upon. We got into a conversation about how camp had changed our lives. We all agreed that we had grown from boys to men, and that every boy should get the chance to experience what Deerhorn has to offer. This place means the world to me and so many others. A young camper by the name of Sparky came up to me Sunday and said, "You look sad. Don't be sad that this is your last Sunday as a camper. Just have fun today." I thought that was incredible and mature coming from such a young camper. The truth is, I don't think of this moment right now. As the end of my camper career, but the start to many more enjoyable years to come at my home, Camp Deerhorn. I will always be a camper at heart. Now I'm going to end with a quick quote from a Kenny Loggins song that kind of sums up this place as everyone's home. If you feel lost and on your own and far from home, you're never alone, you know. Just think of your friends, the ones who care. They all will be waiting there with love to share, and your heart will lead you home. Thank you, friends, family, counselors, and Broadbridges for making my time up here the best 9 summers I could possibly ask for. And to these 3 brothers sitting next to me, I love you guys, and you're the best.
We've been through some things together, trunks of memories still to come. We'd found things to do in stormy weather. Long may you run. Long may you run. Long may you run. Oh, these changes have come. With your chrome heart shining in the sun. Long may you run. It's back in Pine River in 1962. I last saw you alive, but we missed that ship on the long decline. Long may you run. Long may you run. Long may you run. Oh, these changes have come. Got your chrome heart shining in the sun. Long may you run. Maybe the Beach Boys have got you now, with your waves singing Caroline, rolling down that empty ocean road, get into the surf on time. Long may you run. shining in the sun. Long may you love.
I have known CJ my whole life, and there's a lot to be learned from him. Whether it's at Camp Deerhorn or in the hallways at school, he is someone who sees things on a higher plane. He is someone who gets the big picture and can see outside the fishbowl that is daily life. From a young age, I noticed things that made CJ a good leader. Whether it was his complex strategy in anything as simple as calling shotgun, or telling passing smokers on the street that they had a nasty habit. CJ has always understood. And I can tell you this, CJ was born to lead. I've spent my entire life wondering how he always has a plan, how he always is so motivational, how he was always so ready for anything life threw at him. While he was always a leader, his gift was truly hidden from the world for most of his childhood, until he came here to Camp Deerhorn. Camp changed CJ for the better. He learned how to deal with people, he learned how to apply his leadership skills, and most of all, he found his favorite place in the world. I think that it takes a lot of maturity to love camp the way CJ does. I know when I was a camper, I loved camp, but not as much as CJ. He understands that camp is the only place in the world where this spirit exists. He cherishes it. He soaks it up. Every chance he gets to come up to camp, he takes as much as he needs. I remember two of us were coming home on the bus after his first year, and he said, 3 weeks were just not enough. Every year he tries to secure more time at camp. If my parents said 3 weeks, he wanted 4. If he got 5, he would ask for 7. I think his favorite part of being a leader is that he didn't have to miss a single week. He's always trying to soak up that extra time here. What camp has done for CJ, however, pales in comparison to what CJ has given back. He bleeds the creed every waking second. If I told you CJ was the most competitive guy, I bet a couple of you guys wouldn't even believe me. You would say, CJ's the most laid-back guy ever. But play a game of Monopoly, and I'll tell you, he is ruthless. The difference here is CJ abides by the creed. Every game on the level. Win modestly, lose gracefully. These are all things CJ does consciously every single day. I can see a twinge in his face every time a scalp game doesn't go his way. But he swallows his pride and turns around and makes a goofy joke to his team, and with that big CJ smile that can light up a room. Something everyone here knows about CJ is how much fun he is. During the year, CJ and I talk for hours at a time about everything. I can't help but smile when he talks and still think he's the funniest person I know. I feel bad for our poor father, who can't squeeze 30 minutes of yard work out of us before we're messing around and laughing way too hard to even pick up a shovel. I find it so inspirational the way his sense of humor changes the mood in the room. I think it's very important. Dr. Don wanted us to approach all the challenges in our lives with a smile, and CJ does that with ease. Another thing CJ does well is his strive for self-improvement. This camp, as well as this nation, was founded on the idea of self-improvement. I know CJ looks at every day as a chance to improve, to be better going to bed than you were when you woke up that morning. The Yeager family had an entire year's worth of earfuls from CJ about how he was going to conquer slaloming the winter before he did. It's a good thing he didn't have Dick's cell phone number, that's all I have to say. He is focused and determined every single day. Lastly, his friendship. And this is the most important one for me. CJ is a man who has more love in his heart than any other human being out here. It doesn't matter what you say to him, whether you're a homesick camper who's looking for an older brother while he's away, or a tired, stressed out, wimpy AC who's having a rough week. He will listen to your problems, pause for a minute, smile, and say something that will make you laugh every time you think about it. CJ, you are the embodiment of the creed, in thought, word, and deed. You take every line of that creed and you live it every single day, at home or at camp. You change people's lives for the better. You represent both the change we need to make in the world and everything that needs to stay the same. I wish I could be as strong and as smart as you, even for a day. I know that I am your older brother, but you were my role model. You were everyone's role model here, and we could all learn a little bit from you. Your honesty, your perseverance, and your love. You were what these campers strive to be, and they should, CJ. You bleed the creed in the truest way. You were everyone's leader, everyone's friend, and everyone's role model, but you're my brother. You did a great job this summer, and I love you. Ladies and gentlemen, 2013 Navajo leader, CJ Yeager.
Trying to describe Deerhorn has been the hardest thing I can do. I could call it a camp, or a boyhood adventure, or even the single most impactful part of my life. But I feel like that still does not describe what Deerhorn means to me. I could tell a story of my favorite moment at camp, or the friends that I grew up with and made me the man I am today. But even then, I don't think it's enough. All I can do, though, is to hope that everyone understands that what I say today is trying to describe a place that lies so deep in my heart and a creed that lies so deep in my life. Whenever I try to think about this, I think about the people that impact me and made me the man I am today. When I got a call as a leader, Patrick asked me, all I could think about was the people that turned me into the leader I am now. I look back at my Voyager crew and how they showed me that just because there's no blood or family ties does not mean they cannot be your brother. I look at Brian and Patrick, Brittany and Johnny, and how much they led me and showed me what a leader is. I look at the leaders that year after year have impressed me and given me another lesson. I look at counselors like Bear and Dick and Brooksy that have made me so proud just to know them. I look at Deacon and Alan, friends I made through Deerhorn just recently. And I look at all the Broadbridges that have tried their hardest to maintain the most perfect place on earth. I look at Johnny and Nick, who this year have helped me have the most fun I've ever had in my life. And most of all, I look over to my brothers. Alex Mandel, for 5.5 years we've shared the same Coogee, and I still have not run out of things to talk about or new things to learn from him. I look at Bez, who through countless jokes and always a funny man, has taught me that laughing is the most cherished thing on earth. I look at Landsberg, who some people could describe as one of the most perfect human beings on earth. Well, I'm still amazed to this day that the only thing he cannot conquer is scalp. And then I look at the campers that this year have shown me that people embody the creed just as much as I do. Miguel Gallifrey, one of my Voyagers that I picked, and could not wait until the Spaniards arrived. He every day tackled it with the only one goal, the goal to have fun and enjoy everything he does. I look at Soren, Thompson, and Nate Tammer, a couple junior campers I had at the beginning of the summer, who taught me that there's nothing too bad that cannot be rebounded with a smile. And then I look at Connor Tackett, another camper I had that reminds me that this is the most beautiful place on earth, that everything you do here is perfect. I also think of the great moments I have here, the campers like George Landsberg and TJ. Every time I walked into my Coogee, I wished they were there so I could talk to them. These people have taught me some of the most important lessons of my life. They've taught me a few lessons I don't want to share right now. Told me that perseverance is the word of the strong. Told me your actions define you. They've taught me that courage is not always the lion roaring, but sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day that says, I will try again tomorrow. They have taught me that challenges are what make life interesting, and overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. They told me that every opportunity is a chance for another great story. They told me you don't need to be related to have a brother. And they told me that there's nothing more important than living your life than sacrificing for your brothers. And I think one of the most important stories, or most important lessons I've learned, is carpe diem, and to seize the day. And this year it's been my main goal, that I never waste a moment sleeping, or not seizing every moment that is above me and ahead of me. When I was paddling here, I saw a moon in front of me, or a moon behind me and a sun in front of me. The sun to me resembled new things coming on and will always be there for me. And the moon behind me representing an end. But I know tomorrow another sun will rise. Just like that, I'll be back here next year, making more friends, learning new lessons, and having another great summer. This year has been the most important year of my life, and I thank all of you for making it so special. This life that I live has took me everywhere. There just ain't no place I've never been. But it's kind of like the saying, I've heard so many times, there just ain't no place quite like home. Ever seen a she-gator protect her youngin', or a fish in a river swimming free? Have you ever seen the beauty of the hills of Carolina, or the sweetness of the grass in Tennessee? And Lord help me, I can make these changes. All I can do is write them in a song, and I can see the concrete slowly creeping. Lord, take me in mine before it's gone. I like to see the mountain streams flowing. I like to see a youngin' with his dog. Have you ever
never stop to think about the air you're breathing. Well, you better listen here to my song. And Lord, I can't make any changes. All I can do is write them in a song. And I can see the concrete slowly creeping. Lord, take me in mind before it's gone. Not trying to put down no big cities, but the things they write about us are such a bore. Take a boy from the Dixieland. You'll never take old Dixie from the boy. And Lord, I can't make any changes. All I can do is write them in a song. And I can see the concrete slowly creeping. Lord, take me in mind before it's gone. Yes, I can see the concrete slowly creeping. Lord, take me in mind before it's gone.
So now we're gonna do Deerhorn Hall. Let the leaders lead. And we're all gonna go to bed. Remember to be silent.
We ask that out of respect for the leaders, and because I'm OD, that all you guys go back to your cooties and be quiet for the rest of the night after this.